You know, guys, I just can't lie to you. The truth is, I really love this movie! What up, y'all? It's the Black Critic Guy, and I just got back from seeing the Disney animated film Wreck-It Ralph. And as you can tell in the beginning, I really enjoyed and really loved this movie. This movie is truly a gamer's movie. It's kind of like Scott Pilgrim versus the World back in 2010. This is literally a movie for gamers, nerds of all kinds. You will love this movie. If you love games, if you're a nerd, if you like J-pop, you're gonna love this movie. So the plot of Wreck-It Ralph is very simple. It follows this character by the name of Wreck-It Ralph, who is a villain in this game called Fix-It Felix. And he kind of feels unappreciated and neglected because no one really likes him. He is the villain, of course. And he just wants to be accepted by, you know, his peers. Everyone just... he's kind of alone and secluded, and so he goes to different games because he wants to win a medal so he can gain recognition with, you know, the townsfolk of Fix-It Felix, and crazy shenanigans ensues. Now, I highly anticipated this movie. After seeing the first trailer, how could I not? I mean, you have all the villains sitting around at a table talking. You see Bowser, you see the ghost guys from Pac-Man, Zangief. You're just like, my goodness, this movie is either gonna kick ass or it's gonna be a huge pile of fail. And guess what? It's kick ass. Wait, this is a Disney movie. Maybe I shouldn't cuss too much. Now let's talk about some of the reasons why I really enjoyed this movie. And the first and the biggest reason is all of the gaming references. They were spot on, they were hilarious, and they were so fun to see on the big screen. Gamers are literally gonna jizz in their pants when they see this movie because there are so many gaming references that just puts a smile on your face. Especially if you played some of the old like Nintendo games and some racing games. It brings back nostalgia. You really like it. I really love how meticulous they were in their gaming references. You can tell that they put a lot of heart and a lot of work into putting these gaming references. Not to throw it in there for the sake of throwing in there. They had a purpose, and it was just like, oh my god, that's cool. And speaking of references, when they were in the Sugar Rush game, I never wanted candy so badly in my life. I might not be the hugest gamer, but I went berserk when I saw this land of candy because I'm a candy lover. And all these references they make in the candy land, I was just like, my goodness, I just want a candy so bad. Let me just go into the world for 5 seconds. You could almost say it gave me a sugar rush. The animation is fantastic in this movie, and like I mentioned how they're very meticulous about their gaming references, the way that the pixelated characters moved, even in the 3D land, is the same way that they would move in the game or if you were to see them pixelated. And I loved how they really paid attention to detail about that. It was really funny and really cool to see that. Now to veer off of my nerdiness, let's talk about some of the characters. I really enjoyed all of the characters in this movie. Wreck-It Ralph is a very relatable character. You feel his dilemma, he feels unappreciated. It's kind of like being at a dead-end job where no one really likes you, and you kind of just want to escape that kind of world. You don't want to live in that world anymore, and you really relate to his character, and you want him to succeed. The relationship between Wreck-It Ralph and Von Sweet, the little girl from Sugar Rush, was so emotional, so touching. It was cutesy, it was funny, you really connected with these characters. They were like these two lost souls who kind of find a connection with each other, and you just, when you see them together, you're just like, oh, it's so cute, so touching. And they were the driving force of this movie. You really just get attached to these two characters. Also, Fix-It Felix Jr., who is an obvious parody of Mario. I mean, you can tell. It's Mario and Donkey Kong in the original Donkey Kong game. That's what they're the parody of, if you guys didn't know that. Now you know. But yeah, I really like this character, but I would have loved to see more of him because he was more of the side character, which makes sense because, you know, it's called Wreck-It Ralph, not Fix-It Felix Jr., but I would have liked to see more of him, but for the scenes that he was in, he was good. And then we got the girl from Hero's Duty, and I really liked her character. She's the baddest chick in this entire movie, and she is just all sorts of awesomeness, and I loved her backstory. There's a line that the character says that made me just roll on the floor laughing. And next we got the voice acting. I thought the voice acting was spot on. The person that did the best job for me was actually Sarah Silverman as the voice of the girl named Von Sweet. I don't know what her first name is, but she did a fantastic job. She really vocalized that whole cutesy girl kind of thing, and I really bought that she was a cutesy girl. But I really like the other voice actors as well. You got John C. Reilly voicing Wreck-It Ralph. He did a fantastic job. You got Jane Lynch voicing the girl from Hero's Duty. She did a really good job as well. And then you got James McBranner from 30 Rock, who did a good job as Fix-It Felix Jr. And I gotta say, the relationship between Fix-It Felix Jr. and that girl from Hero's Duty is the funniest relationship in this entire movie. One of the greatest aspects of this film is not only its gaming references, but the emotional scenes. They were handled very well. You actually felt the emotions in the scene, and it either will bring tears to your eyes or it will hit you right here in your heart. There were two things, well actually three things that really made me nerd out in this movie. And the first one was, of course, Sugar Rush, the video game. Just love the candy. The second thing is that the person that directed this film is actually one of the directors in The Simpsons. I was like, oh my goodness. He directed and he also wrote the story for this movie. I was like, my goodness, Rich Moore directed this? Ah! And the last thing, before I left the theater, they started playing this Japanese song, and I was like, oh my god, are they playing a Japanese song right now? Oh my god, are they playing a Japanese song right now? Get the hell out of here. I'm sorry, I just couldn't restrain myself. I mean, it's a Japanese song in a Disney movie, and it just was so catchy. I was like, I gotta find that song right now. Now, I really didn't have any big problems with this movie. I had very minuscule, tiny, insignificant problems. Like, you know, I really wish he could have gone to the different games. He only went to 2 in the entire movie, which is fine because it was handled very well. And also, this movie really follows the Disney formula to a degree, but all the problems can be negated by how well done this film is, by its gaming references, the characters, the emotional scenes, the writing, the direction. It is the best animated film of the year, without a doubt. So overall, as you can tell, I absolutely adore this movie. It's the best animated film of the year. If you are a nerd, if you love playing video games, if you love J-pop, if you played in an arcade as a kid, definitely go see this movie. This movie is made for you. You will get the references. You're gonna love the references. The writing is superb. The direction is solid. The characters are lovable, relatable, and likable. The voice acting is just superb. Everything about this movie is awesome in every sense of the word. This movie definitely deserves a 5 out of 5 stars. It is an epic masterpiece. I never thought I would see the day where Disney beats out Pixar as the best animated film of the year, but they pulled it off, and they pulled it off with flying colors. But anyway, what did you guys think of this movie? Did you absolutely love it? And to all my gamer subscribers, did you love the references, or did you just find it annoying and just hammering it over your head and you're like, stop? And did you enjoy watching the movie, or were you like, man, I could be watching this movie, or I could just play the video game, that would be fun. I would like to know all that stuff. Or did you all just not like it and found it boring? Comment below. Let me know. Also, stay tuned next week for the final cut, where we be discussing shoujo animes. And until then, I'm the Black Critic Guy, bridging the gap between movies and anime reviews. Till then, peace, YouTube.